out of the way. Are we ready?
No, we're not.
What time is it?
It's
7:27.
7:27.
I figured I'd give you like a 2 minute thing.
Mashed potatoes. It's John, all things paranormal. We're waiting on time here so we can get everything synced up together. Give us just a few more minutes. How you know what time it is? We'll be going live here in 2 minutes. We're live on all of it together. Make sure they get my good side. What side?
You ain't got one.
I got one. I got a good side. Go ahead and hit Facebook. Even though it's a minute early, good time for everything to set up.
Nobody can watch it in a minute early.
That way everybody can be on by the time. Is it going?
No.
You
want to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it takes time for everybody to see the go, get ready to go live.
Yeah, you're live now.
I know.
What are you doing? You ready?
What time is it?
Yeah.
Okay,
They can see it.
Okay, just checking. We got about a minute. We're going to be going live here, but we're just getting things set up, checking stuff out. And we got a pretty good show coming for you.
Just make it look like
We're trying to get everything squared up, make sure that everything's synced up between the computers and our Facebook and our computer stuff. Anyway, we'll go ahead and start, huh? Good enough. Hey, this is John.
This is Charlie.
All things paranormal. Man, we got a good show for you today. This is going to be kind of carrying on from the show from last week. I apologize for that. I was out sick, and I really wish I wasn't, but I was. Anyway, we was talking about. Oh, here, you need this. While we're getting hooked up on that, let's talk about some stuff. Hey, look, y'all need to get a shirt. Y'all need to get a coffee cup. Help us out. Get us a hat. You know, things like that is what keeps this stuff funded. You know, if you take a look and see, we got different screens. We got, you know,
shirt right there too.
Shirt right there. We got stuff. You know, stuff like that costs money, and that's how we keep on keeping stuff going. Anyway, okay, the last week's show, Don kind of ended up on some stuff about aliens, and they showed the big head. Let's pull up the big head alien there. No. Okay.
Oh.
That's not it. That was it. Go back. All right. If you take a look and see, kind of look up here, you kind of see this big head alien, how the head's been kind of stretched back. You know, there you go. Now this particular one come from over around Peru. Now the interesting thing on that is that they had 5 different bodies, I guess you could say it, mummified bodies or whatever, that they were testing, and they had 17 samples. Well, out of 17 samples, only 11 come out good. But here's the strange thing. The ones with the heads that's like that has no ancestral DNA for anybody over on in South America. they actually come from over there around the Black Sea across the thing.
The Black Sea.
The Black Sea.
That's a long way away.
That's a long way away. All right, so what? And now the reason why we're bringing that up, because trying to tie it off into it, is what's our show over?
Don't put me on the spot.
Don't put you on the spot. All right, our show is going to be over ancient types of
So, how do you say that word?
Civilization.
Yes,
ancient civilization. Well, it's not the civilization stuff we're looking at. Technology. We're looking at the ancient technology.
How stuff was done. How did they accomplish stuff like that? That seems like it was beyond their time.
And that's right. And what we're bringing in that part right there for is because whenever you start checking out the different kind of, that's cool. So when you start checking out the different kinds of people where they come from DNA and stuff like that, it's going to be, it's just downright weird. We're going to tie it all in here in just a second. You got to be with us. This is going to be a little more of an educational show than normal. So, because there is just so much more material. Let's go to the next one. Here's one right there. We'll go back to, where did you find that one at?
This one, I just found it was just a picture ad.
Oh, okay.
But
is that real?
Yeah. Look, it's in a museum actually.
That's an actual museum, but to me, it kind of looks like an alien.
Yeah,
it looks like a gray.
Yeah, look at the eyes right there. Big old eyes, and nose mouth looks all.
Now, for those that's been into some type of medical class and stuff like that, if you take a look at the eyes on that one, and you bring it back to the other one that I had, the skeleton of the other one, look how big those eye sockets are. Now, if you stretch your head bone back, it's still not going to widen up that. It's just going to stretch this back. Anyway, keep going. We're kind of getting tied up down here on that part. Right,
this is what I found. I actually don't have nothing to really say about it much, but it's they found they found it buried with other ancient stuff.
Artifacts.
And ancient artifact stuff. And you see where it's like
that looks like
stuff.
Caesar or something like that.
Yeah, and then with it, there's that right there.
You got to squeeze back in right there. If y'all can try to make that out, that looks like an alien head, just like we was looking at.
And I don't have a picture of the back. I actually lost a picture of the back of the coin. It's supposed to be a UFO looking saucer type on the back of it.
So they had like a saucer with the alien on the coin. Now that's got to tell you something. Mm-hmm. Let's take a look at the next one.
All right, next one I got is from the Peruvian desert. It's actually located 200 miles away from Lima. What hell you say? It's 200 miles southeast of that place. These lines are actually supposed to be about 800 of these lines right here, drawn in the desert. Whereas, like they said, about 300 of them make shapes, and about 70 of them make a actual animal, like a spider or something like that.
Now, this is stuff that's done in the ground, and they're not looking at it. They have no way. This is done how many thousand years ago?
2,000 years ago.
2,000 years ago. Now, you didn't even have a hot air balloon back then. There was no type of way of getting all the way up in the air and saying, hey, look, let's cut this line out in this stuff right here.
Yeah,
so
and
what do you think of that?
Well, that to me, we have to have
an
alien. An alien seemed to get up there and say, hey, look, we're going to be doing this stuff right here. Or they're going to be making some type of a sign for these people. Say, hey, look, y'all come over here and entice them.
Yeah, there's no way you can actually get down there and make a straight line and make it look like a spider, make it look like animal, make it straight enough where you don't actually appreciate what you see until you're actually up above what you're looking at. That's where you see what you're making.
And in this particular situation, you still don't have all the information we throwing out there yet. But we're going to be making a pretty good leap here at the end of it, like a good sermon with the preacher. He'll throw stuff out there, and then at the end, he'll tie it all together.
Mm-hmm.
To sling up the next one.
Also, there's another adding on to this. It's the longest one goes for miles and miles. So it's straight line for miles. And it's about is about 1,200 feet across. Is how big it is.
That's pretty good ways around.
Another thing I have is the stone hinges.
Stonehenge.
Stone hinge. Or hinges, as I would say.
No, it's not hinges. It's
It's got plural stone.
It's a plural Stonehenge.
There's multiple hinges in this. But it's outside of Salisbury, is what it says. That sounds like.
Yeah, that's over where?
Oh, I don't know where that's
Within the last week or so, they've actually found a skeleton of unknown remains that they're checking.
In Salisbury?
No, at the Stonehenge itself.
Oh, at Stonehenge?
So over. That's Don in the background. He's sitting over there. Unfortunately, we're good sized fellas, so we're gonna have to eventually one of these days expand our stage out a little further. But anyway, over at Stonehenge. Oh, go ahead.
So that obviously makes us, as we can see by the picture, it makes a circle with all these big statues. But you can look around, and there's really no place where you can get these stones, and they weigh about 50 tons. Is the heaviest one there, but that's 50 tons you have to drag.
That's 100,000 pounds.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So
And
what do you think did that?
So what do we think did it?
But
Mr.
these,
Alien.
but also what makes it even weirder. What?
Go ahead, put it back there.
Put it down. Okay.
Okay.
But what makes it weirder is these things are actually, people are saying, is modeled after solar systems. It points out solar systems in the galaxy.
And one of the other things they say about Stonehenge, it also lines up with different other sections. One of the Mayan temples over in south. We got a Mayan here, one of the Mayan gods. Also lined up with one of the pyramids and certain things of stars and stuff like that. And they believe that, just like a airport, how a plane flies into an airport, you can see the lights and the things up there. Everybody say, come on down here. That's what these things right here are for.
Yeah, they're also saying that these were actually used. Some people are saying these are actually used for airports for aliens to land. That's real places where they can land.
All right, what you got now?
This. Let me flip the page. Okay. Sungate. What is that? Boulevard?
Bolivia.
Bolivia. I should really close enough.
That's down there towards Peru.
Now this thing was actually, they tested and it's actually made, they say, around 14,000 BC. That's a long.
Now 14,000 BC, if you want to take a look at the history of man, they say man started gathering up together at around 10,000 BC in a certain type of city units.
Yeah.
14,000 years ago is a long time.
Yes, they're not even organized.
More than 14,000 years.
Yeah, it's 14,000 BC.
BC,
Yeah.
so that's like 16,000 years ago.
Yeah, so that's before they were supposedly together, organized.
And if you take a look, see how smooth the stones and stuff like that.
Yeah, how it's pointing,
You just can't get up there and make something smooth and carved up just like that. Also, if you take a look right up in here, you can see the Mayan god.
Yeah.
Once again.
Yeah.
Here, we'll compare it right there. See?
Now
My
this
question
thing
is, how does that technology get from there to Mayan, which is over right towards Cozumel?
Yeah.
That could
Now,
be.
That could be.
The thing is, I know everyone what I'm trying to say.
No.
Aliens. But all right, so continuing before somebody interrupted me.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But these things weigh about 200 tons.
That's 400,000 pounds.
Yeah, that's tons. But the thing that makes this weird though is this is actually 13,000 feet above sea level. Now I don't know about you, but that air is up there is very thin and it's oxygen deprived. So you have to be resilient to that and be moving all this stones and stuff up there and organizing. That's
As we had one of our people head over to Mount Everest, the people that's indigenous to that area was sucking some air pretty good. They're used to that atmosphere.
And they was only what?
Do what?
How high were they up? Like 10, 12,000 feet?
No, they're pretty high on up there. They can go up to like 18,000 feet.
Oh, 18,000.
But anyway, they had if you get up there that high, you typically the people at the house, if you look at the people indigenous to the over to Everest, they're real small. They're stout, but they're real tiny people because you can't have a big fat person like me running up and down the mountains over there because we just won't make it.
Mm-hmm.
So over here having to move 200 tons of stones, the only way you can really do that is by aliens.
Now, we're not saying it's aliens.
Yeah,
We're not saying it's aliens.
aliens. But that's
That's a good thing. That, it could be. We're just saying that could be it.
But so on this, you can see up here, there's stuff all around it, and on the other side too. I didn't get a picture of the other side, but there's humanoid creatures with helmets, with rings, and there's also stories around it telling of aliens, telling of stories about stuff that seem to be like aliens.
Next one.
And people say it also could be used for a different dimension. Now this is just, it is also, if you look here, this is put on a, someplace they found out.
Egypt.
In Egypt, obviously Egypt, but like in the pyramid, they found on the walls and stuff. They say that this, which it looks like to me, pretty good amount, this looks like it's a light shooting out from using electricity, shooting out, it looks like a light.
Now remember that's going to be playing here in just a minute. So we're going to tie all that in together. You see how it looks like a rays coming out, like a light. Also, if you take a look at this little thing up there, that kind of looks like a little mine, don't it?
Yeah.
So whenever you start joining the two different areas, mines, which is totally across the other end of the world, versus remember back then the world was flat. It only rounded up the last several hundreds of years.
Yeah.
That all could be caused by aliens. All right, next one. All right, if you take a look at the pyramids, this is where we're getting into the good stuff. The pyramids are set up with the 3 stars of Orion's belt. Now, that's with the pyramids set up like that. It's something else too. If you take a look at these pyramids, there's no caps. They come up to a point. In the olden days, whenever the pyramids were built, they had caps, metal caps. But anyway, you put up the 3 stars lined up in Orion's belt as a type of directions. So you know what? If we ever get the time and ever get this some type of way we can get over to a gigantic telescope or radioscope or something like that, I think we're going to be looking at aliens over in the Orion belt. I mean, why would they be centering that up?
Yeah, but
We'd have to get out there and start looking
with a telescope.
with the telescope, because that is a long ways away.
Long ways away.
All right, now we're going to tie all this in together. This right here, you have a man by the name of Nikola Tesla. Everybody likes, that's not the cars, but that car's named after him. Anyway, this right here, he was building what's called a Tesla coil that they was going to use to shoot energy. If you set enough of them up, you're going to energize or use the energy out of the atmosphere, and then you'll be able to power all your stuff. Now, that was free energy. Well, Rockefeller, he ran out of money after developing it, or he wasn't going to fork out no more money, and that ended that project. So we almost all had free energy, where you get up there, plug something in, and all the energy is coming out of the atmosphere from the solar flares, from the Nikola and the planets and stuff like in the Earth and all that. That's how you develop energy. The rubbing of the clouds, that's how you have lightning.
But I also heard from this that some people would be losing money from this also. Gas companies, stuff like that, would be losing money.
So this was done around in the first of 1900s, and oil was starting to come into effect. Next. All right. Now, why was that important? This right here is a picture of a pyramid. All right. Now, believe it or not, there was no actual mummies. Nobody ever buried. Everybody says, "Oh, a pyramid is a thing where they buried people." There has been no mummies found in pyramids. It's always been on the outside, over in the different sections and stuff like that. Then why was all this stuff here? Now, I could be wrong on that particular thing. That's what the internet was telling me. But I almost believe that statement. But anyway, if you look and see, and you put a metal cap up here, and one time they had that if you could run in some salt water, also combined with some type of different kind of acid or something like that, or if you had another type of being that granite or the stones that they used to build that would be some type of a metal. All right, it will develop its own type of energy. Now that do what?
Like a battery.
Like a battery. That's what it does. It pulls the energy from the air. It generates its own energy, and they set them up to where you can be powering off. Now, why would somebody who's living back in the Stone Age need energy?
Yeah. Because aliens.
Aliens.
Hell.
And we're not saying it's aliens.
Yeah, we're not saying it's aliens.
We're not saying it's aliens, but that is some sure enough different kinds of. I mean, they need the energy. I mean, they got lights. They didn't have the light bulb back in. They don't think. But anyway, if you got the energy, you're going to be using that energy for something.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, this next.
That's it.
What happened to my big alien head?
What big alien head?
Oh,
what big alien head?
all right. So anyway, now I told you we'd get it all tied in together. So you have different types of stuff. The pyramids tied in that can generate energies. You have different kinds of landing fields that's different kind, used for, this is technology and stuff that's well beyond the means of the people that developed it. The pyramids, that's moving well amounts of tons and tons of rocks with just people.
Yeah.
And to have them lined up directly with using a they really didn't even have a compass back then.
Yeah, they didn't really have a compass. So.
North and south, east and west was just something really guessed at by the sun and the stars, and they have them lined up perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and they have the biggest pyramid built over in Egypt is built right in the middle of the land mass. Now, how you gonna determine which side or another when you ain't even up in space to say, hey, look, this needs to move over and over? But stuff like that, they had all kinds of different types of things. They have aliens being shown in coming down in one of the religious paintings where they show like a UFO with an air beam or a laser beam coming down and taking out something or some type of a beam. So all this old ancient technology, we kind of believe.
Hook up onto your phone. Keep talking.
So all this old kind of type of ancient energy is used.
Yeah.
Is used to develop some type of energy for no reason. What's he on there for?
No, we're not saying it's aliens.
No, we're not saying it's aliens.
But aliens could have helped.
Aliens could help.
Now,
this dude also says it might be aliens too. So
we're not
anyway,
saying it's aliens though.
but anyway, that's how you got to tie up the big head.
Go back to your picture that you had.
I'm trying to.
Oh.
There we go.
It's okay, I got that.
So anyway, we're not saying it's aliens, but aliens is it's probably the thing. All right, now we've been having. You what?
24 to 48.
Oh yeah. For the next 24 or 48 hours, we're going to be going live on the net with our dog count. Now we've had certain things happen over here in the buildings. One, our clock batteries, man, they just quit working.
Brand new batteries.
Brand new batteries. I put a battery in 1 week, next week it's gone. and it's never happened before because before they went on a whole week. We've seen some lights and stuff kind of flicker in here, and
Temperature changes.
temperature changes, stuff like that. So what we're going to do, we're going to set this doll out, and we're going to go live on the internet. So y'all be able to have the doll cam again. If this thing takes off running, y'all better let us know so we can go out there and catch it.
I want to say hi to Trish. How's it going? And Grant Kelly also had a question. Do you think 16,000 years ago they had elevation that high? Well, I don't know.
Well, that's probably so, because remember, if you want to take a look at some of your stuff, long time ago, we talked millions of years when you had Pangea. That's where they didn't have but one continent, and it broke all up, and then the crashing of the continental plates is what developed all the stuff. So for millions of years, 16,000 years is not that long.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're going to be putting the doll cam back up. The doll's going to be sitting right here. And y'all keep an eye out for us. It's probably going to be up in probably about another 20, 30 minutes.
We're going to put a new battery in the clock.
We're going to put a new battery in the clock so y'all can see what time it is. So you can call back and say, hey, look, 7:04, the sun done took off running.
Yeah, talk, text, message, email.
Text, email, whatever.
Facebook.
But anyway, this is John.
It's Charlie.
And Don's over outside over there. All things paranormal. Y'all have a good one.